Super 8s are ongoing, and now we are coming on to the business end of the Super 8s, where the qualification scenario gets to be very, very interesting. I have Arijita with me. Arijita, welcome to the show after a long, long time. But how much are you enjoying this Cricket World Cup as well as the Super 8s?
Yeah, thank you so much, Pritham, for having me out here, aka Fifth Umpire. And definitely enjoying since the T20 since IPL and then T20 World Cup. So yeah, it's been cricketing action throughout. But as person, we're working in this industry, it gets a little bit hectic on occasions. But again, this is what we opted for, and this is what we live for. So yeah, it's been brilliant so far.
Absolutely, and that's what we love to watch, and that's what we enjoy the most. But Afghanistan versus Australia tomorrow early morning. What do you look into this fixture? Does Afghanistan really have an outside chance to surprise tomorrow?
I think this is one such match that will decide the outcome of Group One. If Australia manages to outclass Afghanistan, and if India beats Bangladesh today, which we'll get to know by the end of the night, right? As per IST, so we'll get to know who the two semi-finalists are. It's just about who the number one is and who the number two, and whom they are playing in semi-finals. But I believe that. Talking about the conditions over here in West Indies, and I think uh, the where Australia and Afghanistan is actually playing in Kingstown, if I'm not wrong. And I think that's been one of those conditions. I think it could favor Afghanistan, so they have a good chance. But they like any other team, they have their strengths and weaknesses as well. And during the ODI World Cup, we did see that Afghanistan came very close, but then we saw a big show masterclass. Glenn Maxwell, he did what he's known for, and then yeah, rest was history. So but again, I think that Afghanistan has a good chance to beat Australia. If and it's a T20 game. We've seen some upsets been happen. If even if Afghanistan beats Australia, I don't think we'll be calling it as an upset anymore
Correct.
because Afghanistan are a solid side, very formidable unit, and they're not just about the spinners. They are now also about their pacers. They're also about uh, the batters. You talk about Ramanullah Gurbaz is in the top five in the batting charts. You talk about Ibrahim Zadran, he's been in the top 10. You talk about Fazal Haq Faruqi, he's a leading wicket taker. Yeah. So they're on. I think it should be a very good, interesting clash, to be honest.
Absolutely, and that's what you said. It's not going to be a surprise if Afghanistan get it through against Australia. But let's take a look into the fixtures of the Super 8s. Where do these two teams play? Here it is. You said about India versus Afghanistan. It was played at Barbados. Now we play at Kingstown. Back-to-back games for Afghanistan. A stadium where they will love playing because of the spinners might come into play. It's a day-night game, Arijita, but Australia, it's going to be a tough one. But if they manage to win this game, the table completely opens before the Afghanistan versus Bangladesh game.
Yeah, definitely. And I think if you're a neutral fan and if you love cricket, I think you would love to see that happen. Uh, because else everything else will be a dead rubber, isn't it? In that group, we talk about India, Australia, we talk about Afghanistan, Bangladesh later on. So those matches will be dead rubber, and this is what happened during the group stages because of the pre-seeding. And you don't
Correct.
want that to happen once again, right? So yeah, interesting clash to look forward to.
Absolutely, and that's what you mentioned very nicely. Preceding, I think it was a little bit unfair, but you said about the neutral fans wanting that to happen. Why not an Indian fan wanting that to happen if Australia gets knocked out of the Super Eights?
I think we need to draw comparisons or draw back the memories from 19 November. I think India would love to do that themselves, rather than in the knockouts, maybe, rather than not in the group stages, So maybe in the final again they meet together, India versus Australia. And I would like to mention also that Richard Kettleborough is umpire in final. Maybe this time turn the tables and prove everyone wrong.
So you still want Richard Catterbury once again as the umpire in an Indian game and a knockout? Ladies and
No, no,
gentlemen, see,
he is umpire actually, if I'm not wrong,
is he the umpire in
in
the
the
India
final.
Australia game?
No, not in the India Australia game, but in the final. So I'm telling that after the India Australia game, for example, I want both India and Australia to qualify. Go to the semi-finals. Australia plays some other team. India plays someone from Group Two. Win those matches. See again in the final, and it's revenge time, brother.
Okay, so fingers crossed, but I would come back to this video if that happens very much, and I'll share this
Yeah.
clip if Arijit that makes it true. But we're done with the fixtures. Let's take a look at the lessons learned from both these sides from their previous game. I think the strength for Afghanistan is the openers, be it Raymond Gurbaz, Azai, Ibrahim Zadran is there. They need to give good starts with the bat. Spinners need to pick wickets. They're going heavily reliant on Rashid Khan, Noor Ahmed, a little bit of Mohammad Nabi. But how important are the middle orders? You could talk about an Najibullah Zadran, you have Mohammad Nabi, the batsman. They need to finish off the games.
See, one of those issues that Afghanistan has faced, and that is the middle order batting. Whenever the top order has not clicked, you see somewhere down the line, except for that Gulbuddin Naib knock that we got to see, that was really a good one. Uh, they have faltered Afghanistan. If you talk about someone like Najibullah Zadran, he had a reputation of finishing, earlier on. He is a good mature player, but I don't remember in the last 2 years when I've seen him play very well. Before 2 years, yeah, I did see him play some really, really good innings. And again, you talk about someone like Azmatul Omarzai. He's looked off-colored with the bat as well as with the ball. No, he's not in the same form as he was during the ODI World Cup. Someone like Kareem Jannat, he missed out the last game. He was dropped, but he didn't look good as well. Even Mohammad Nabi, he's not a consistent batter. If you talk about Mohammad Nabi, yeah, you can see some one blitzkrieg, all of a sudden after 7 or 8 matches. But that's how Mohammad Nabi is. If he's good, if he's going, he can be a match winner for you, but is not consistent enough. So that's been one of the problems for Afghanistan, and facing an attack of Australia with Pat Cummins, Mitchell Stark, Josh Hazelwood, Adam Zampa. I think they have to deal some real blow.
Absolutely. And when it comes to Australia, I think Mitchell Marsh himself, his form is a little bit concerned. The rest of the guys are performing. The finishers out here as well, Tim David, Marcus Stoinis, Glenn Maxwell, they need to be a little bit consistent. Matthew Wade included as well. But spinners will be key in these pitches of West Indies, be it Adam Zampa. They played Ashtonega the day before yesterday game. But now I think Glenn Maxwell and Zampa will be the key for the spinners department. So Australia, as Harsha Bogle said, quietly doing the department right. But before the big game on the 24th of June, before facing India, I think they would want to get this victory, secure a spot in the semifinals, and probably play maybe an or will they? I think they will be serious to play and make it 3 out of 3, potentially being top of the table to face a semi-final spot, which is weaker in group number 2. It's turning out to be very, very interesting in group number 2. I must tell you, England, West Indies, South Africa. South Africa, without doing any mistake, might just be knocked out.
Yeah, very very fishy, and that's how cricket is played, isn't it? It's a game of fine margins, as we have seen it in the past as well. South Africa, I think they have like most of the victories we have seen of South Africa in this tournament. I think all most of them are very except the Sri Lanka game. They're very close fought victory.
Very narrow
Marginally they
margins. Yeah.
yeah, so that's been the case. Be it Nepal, be it someone like Netherlands. I know even against the associate nations, as I mentioned, South Africa have like they somehow hung in there and just managed to go past the finishing line. So that's been the story for South Africa, and this might cause a huge blow to them. But their fortune is in their own hands. They face West Indies, win the game, and everything's over. You finish at the top. You go and face someone who finishes second in the other group in the semi-final. It's as
Absolutely.
easy for them.
Absolutely. And that could be very, very interesting to see. But let's take a look into the pitch report of Afghanistan versus Australia. So talking about the pitch report, I think it's Kingstown once again where Afghanistan face Australia. So what's your take, Orijita? 5 games, 4 times the team batting first here, once the chasing. It's a day-night game. So what would you do if you win the toss?
I would like to. I'd like to bat first and then put the opposition under pressure. I believe because if you go by the stats, I think uh, teams batting first have really has good numbers, and I think the pitch also tends to slow down here. I think it was in the one of Bangladesh game in the Bangladesh first game maybe in this season where they scored 150 plus. All the other scores over here, the first innings total is less than 150, and when it comes to the second innings, it even goes below, it surges below. So yeah. Uh, I believe batting first, win the toss and bat first would be the decision from the skippers.
Okay, so win the toss and bat first. If Afghanistan do this, the spinners will definitely come into play if they manage to score something around 150 plus, as you said before. Let's take a look into the top 3 players to watch out for in this game. Yeah, it is for Afghanistan. Remunal Gurbaz, Rashid Khan, and Fazlul Farooqi for me. For Australia, David Warner, Marcus Stoinis, and Adam Zampa, as I rightly said. If you can sum up all the six players, please, Arjita.
Yeah, and I think you also have to watch out for someone like Travis Head, who's missing out here. I think as soon as the Super 8,
No,
as soon
no,
as
no, I don't want to
the
talk
knockout
about him.
games are inching, no, if you look at the group stages, he wasn't really that fluent. But if we talk about the group stages are coming to an end, and there comes Travis Head. He's just fine tuning himself. Come at the Super 8, he gets a little bit more better. Come at the knockout stage, you might see the best of him, isn't it? That's how Travis Head is. He's a clutch guy. But yeah, talk about Afghanistan first. Ramanullah Gurbaz has been superb. Started off the season very well, but in the last couple of games, looked a little bit off touch, maybe. Uh, Rashid Khan, he's been a genius. I think someone might talk about his IPL form. That was really a concern for Rashid Khan, but the IPL's gone and it's time for the national duty. And here comes Rashid Khan. He's at his very very best. Fazal
Absolutely. But
Faruqi, how?
I'm sorry to interrupt, but you said about Travis,
Yeah.
said Arjita, but you being a KKR fan, you said knockout games. In the final, he was just under par.
Oh yeah. That because that was Mitchell Stark at the opposite end, isn't it? This isn't
No, it was never Baroda, by the way, who got the wicket of Travis said, but it was all KKR
yeah.
that day.
Yeah, definitely, definitely. Sometimes 7 out of 8 times, there can be one occasion when you just miss out on your chance, isn't it? Not every day is not a Sunday. And also now we're switching our attention to someone like Fazal Faruqi, the left arm pacer, very much not similar to Mitchell Stark, but yeah, left arm pacer who gets early swing
Correct.
and has been tremendous in this tournament. I think 15 wickets, and not just about with the new ball, but also in the last game we got to see him do some magic with the old ball as well at the fag end of the innings. So I think that is a huge positive for Afghanistan, as you rightly pointed out.
Absolutely. So six players have summed it up pretty well. You added a Travis said out of this six players. So let's take a look into what to look about the predicted playing 11 between Afghanistan and Australia. It is for Afghanistan. I think they will go with an unchanged 11. Good side. It was just they were too strong against India, but I think it's a very good side to play.
Yeah, look, I think the top order is quite packed. I see Mohammad Ishaq out there, but it was Mohammad Ishaq. I'm not sure if he's going to get a chance because Hazratullah Zazai, I think he played the last game, and I don't think that
Yeah.
they will just drop him on the back of one performance, one
What
poor
was it
knock.
the
So I
reason
think
behind India having three left arm pace spinners, like two left arm spinners and a left Kuldeep Yadav?
See, that could be a reason. That could be a possible reason. But also here you have Adam Zampa, you have Mitchell Stark, so there are left-arm bowlers as well for Australia. But I see more because look in the middle over, in the middle order, Afghanistan, no batters were performing well. It was just the top that was firing Gurbaz and Abraham Zadran, and on occasion it was Gulbadin Naib. So on this case, and with Naib batting up the order these days, at number 4 or number 3 at times, I think. That they're likely to continue with Zazai and not Mohammad Ishaq.
Okay, and on the other end, Australia, I think this is a power pack side. They play themselves in an unchanged 11.
Oh yeah, definitely. I think they're gonna go with this unchanged 11, and Nathan Ellis actually, he has done nothing wrong to be very honest. But
Absolutely.
again, you have Mitchell Stark, Josh Hazelwood, and Pat Cummins, where all three of them are really doing well. If you look at Hazelwood, the wickets column might not speak volumes of what he's doing, but if you look at his economy, you look at his bowling,
Economic.
sometimes he's got the slog overs in the 18th and 19th over, bowling the proper length, the proper areas, what is need to be done on certain kind of conditions, and the control of Hazelwood. I think that is one huge positive for Australia. Certainly, this is going to be the playing 11 for Australia, I believe.
Okay, so that does the playing 11 done and dusted between Australia and Afghanistan. Let's take a look into the predictions time now. Here's the predictions: Afghanistan versus Australia, match number 48. Arijit, over to you. What is your percentage for this game?
I feel Glenn Maxwell is going to take all the percentage for Australia. Maybe not with the bat, but could be with the ball also, because this pitch is going to suit the spinners. So if Adam Zampa and Glenn Maxwell gets to control the middle overs phase, and Afghanistan do not have a really bankable middle order, middle and lower middle order. So I feel that Zampa and Glenn Maxwell can really wreak havoc on this Afghanistan batting order, and this is where Australia might gain those crucial points.
So 70-30 to Australia for you?
I'll go with 85-15.
85-15 for Australia, the heavyweights, first says Orijidda. Over to you now, ladies and gentlemen. Match number 2 in this day, and it is between England and USA. England have themselves to do a lot of job. I'll come to you, Orijidda. Before that, let's take a look into the fixtures of this game. Here it is. England starting with USA rather first. Both the games they have lost. They have nothing to lose. I think they will not make it to the semi-finals. But can they spoil sport for England?
They have a very, very minute chance, but I don't think, on paper, like practically they have a chance, but I don't think it's possible, because England are a very heavyweight side that they're going to face. Obviously, we have seen upsets happen. Ireland have defeated England in ICC events many a times. Netherlands have done it against South Africa. And USA have played actually good cricket, so you cannot just write them off all of a sudden, because they have some match winners in Andreas Gauss, Aaron Jones, Nitish Kumar. Who knows? Might the captain might be back as well. Monang Patel, uh, Corey Anderson, Harmeet Singh. So yeah, a good side, but I think they would look to they would give their all, to just earn a win. But I think it should be England who should come out on the top in this game.
So you're saying England at Kensington Oval, Barbados. It's a day game for them. So they just played a recently day game against South Africa. They fell short, but the way South Africa played yesterday, I think kudos to them. The way they defended after the game slipping away. But it's this game. If England can dominate the game, then now the game between West Indies and South Africa becomes knockout. To be honest, and as we spoke before, South Africa, without doing anything wrong, they might just be knocked out of the tournament. So we are done with the fixtures as well. Let's take a look into the lessons learned from the previous game. Talking about USA, how important has been Monak Patel's absence for them? I think it's been very heartbreaking, but he leading the team from the front as well as behind the stumps was giving them composure. Corey Anderson, we expect a lot from him, but he couldn't perform this tournament, to be very honest. And the Pacers, they need wickets. The way Saurav Netravalkar, Ali Khan, the way they bowled, I think they need to strike early.
Yeah, definitely. Spot on, Pritham. I think you rightly pointed it out. Munang Patel is that puzzle which is missing in the playing 11 at the moment. And whoever is coming, we saw Shayan Jahangir play in the last game, in the last game. So he failed to fill the void. And the batting was really under pressure. Munang Patel and Nitish Kumar are those two guys who can be bankable in the middle order. If there's pressure, they can soak the pressure and help the side get to a fighting total that was missing. Talk about Corey Anderson. Yeah, definitely he's been a big flop. This year he hasn't really shown up. The Kiwi color. He just played just how his nation played. This year. I think that is what happened with Corey Anderson. Paces rightly pointed out. Sort of Netravalkar. He has got wickets. At the start, but he has lacked complement from the other end. You talk about Ali Khan. What has he been doing? Like because he's experienced older over here. He's played the CPL a lot of times. Um, and did well as well. Was a part of Trinbago Knight Riders back then, if I'm not wrong. He's a good bowler. He has got some good Yorkers as well. But I saw him out of control, bowling some bouncers, just near the waist, and I think he's been missing some control. So that is very much needed. They need Ali Khan and Saurav Netravalkar to fight.
Absolutely. And on the other end, you need Jofra Archers and Mark Wood's pace. I think that is lethal. But will this pace help them in conditions like Barbados, West Indies? Similarly, Adil Rashid, I think his spell would be key. His 4 overs. He's a very, very smart bowler. And the two finishers, I say, Sam Curran and Livingston, the two all-rounders for England, they couldn't get the job done against South Africa. How important is these players to get them over the line in these big games?
Yeah, definitely. They are very, very important. And since The match is being played in Barbados, if rightly
Yeah,
pointed out. So I feel that they need to add a Barbadian guy, and Chris Jordan maybe. Local boy playing for England. I think he would be delighted to get a chance, isn't it? Yeah, he didn't show up very well at the initial half of the tournament, but I think Mark Wood has looked off colored. Although, albeit it was Saint Lucia where the batters get a lot of advantage, Wood was
correct.
negated out there. He might get extra purchase. Is obviously a X factor, but I personally, it's a personal opinion that I would love to see Chris Jordan. He's a slog specialist for them. Not executed as per the desire, but I think he should be there. Rashid spell would be key. Yeah, definitely. Adil Rashid and Moin Ali. That's Rash and Mo. The combination, the duo has really worked well, and that's very important. And yeah, you've mentioned about Livingston as well. So yeah, a few overs of Livingston in between actually helps as well. We got to see. I think in the West Indies game was it? Livingston got a
Yeah,
big
he
wicket.
got, he got
After
limited at power.
yeah. Robin Powell. Robin Powell hit him for three sixes, if I'm not wrong, and that's over. But ultimately, Livingston had the final laugh. So I know in a game of T20 you may get hit for two sixes, but if you get the wicket of a big fish, I think that's a big deal. So uh, Archer and Wood's pace, yeah, pace is very important, but I would love to see Chris Jordan again, maybe instead of Mark Wood.
Okay, so this sums it up pretty much. The learnings from the previous game. Let's take a look into the pitch report where England take on USA. Barbados, as you rightly said, you know the stadium a lot, Urjita. 29 matches, 18 times batting first. Yesterday also we saw teams batting first in a day game, ending up being the victorious. So what do you do in these situations like Barbados? Win the toss, bat first?
Yeah, maybe. I think that is what they're going to do. But again, we also got to see some in the night games. Today was one of those occasions where West Indies thrashed USA, isn't it? So we did see some chases as well over here. I think Scotland chased one game against Namibia. I'm not sure if it was a. I think yeah, it was a night game as well. Uh, so. A little bit perplexed. Was it a night game or day game? But yeah, I think matches won batting first 18. You can see the stats right in front of you. Uh, if there are no alterations in the conditions, I think that is going to be the case. Win the toss and bat first.
Okay, so win the toss and bat first. That is going to be the case for you. But what's interesting out here is Barbados will be a very very good wicket, and we will might see low scoring encounters, but the spinners will definitely come into play. Let's take a look into the players to watch out for. Yeah, the three players each. I think Aaron Jones, Andrews House, and Saurav Netravalkar for USA. Phil Salt, Moin Ali, and Mark Wood are the three England players. If you can sum it up pretty well, Arjita.
Well, Aaron Jones, so we did see he just lit up the tournament, isn't it, with his 94 not out against Canada. We did see that what he's capable of, and uh, not sure, not pretty sure if Monarch Patel is going to come. Else, he needs to lead from the front as a captain in this must-win encounter. Andreas House, how good has he been? South African born cricketer.
Absolutely.
Uh, yeah, then he came here to USA and he's showcasing his talent. When we did see it in the past as well, a lot of South African players they have locomoted to various other countries and then they have just enjoyed the game and saw their rise. And another similar, not from South Africa but from Mumbai, it's sort of Netrabalkar. I think he has been superb. He has been one of the stories of the T20 World Cup. Uh, Again, he needs to strike with the new ball, and not just with the new ball, also needs to maintain his composure with the old ball. Similarly, what he did against Pakistan. Talk about West Indies. Yeah, there you see another Barbados guy. I see Phil Salt. Uh, he loves this place. He's a local boy, and
Correct.
he did show all of us against West Indies what he's capable of, and also we did see him for KKR and even in the past as well. Uh, so Phil Salt is definitely going to be one of the big match players over here because a win will ensure a qualification, like most likely a qualification for England.
Correct.
You know, but I feel that England will look to push their NRR as well. So over here, players like Phil Saul, players like Harry Brook, players like Josh Butler, Johnny Bairstow are going to play a huge impact because they could play the aggressive role and just bring up quick runs. Similarly, Moeen Ali can be one of those. He has actually been the floater in the batting order, I feel, and also chipped in with some few overs, got a wicket off.
Correct.
So he's really bowled well. So I think he's been a superb all-rounder, Kamitar, and he's shown what he's capable of. There were talks about Moeen Ali's presence in the T20 side for England, but he showed what he's capable of. And Mark Wood, he's looked a little off-colored, but we all know what he's capable of. Mark Wood, Woody on his day could be a danger guy. And but one thing, this UBC side, they are. It's not such a thing that they are not used to playing sheer pace. With a lot of machineries out there and throwing machine throwdowns. So they are used to playing sheer pace. Obviously, Markwood, he has his own edge, but I feel that on these Barbados kind of tracks, it's more of the bowlers who can vary their pace. Who can mix their pace with the slow ones are going to be more effective. We did see Markwood use some slow ones in the past, but I'm not sure how well he can control in the near future in the upcoming match. So that's one
Okay,
question
we
for me.
will see that. We will see that, but it's a very important game. You spoke about net run rate. We might just see England chasing it as quick as possible just to prove themselves in the net run rate, just to go above South Africa. We're done with the players to watch out for. Let's take a look into the predicted playing 11. Starting with USA, I have gone with their regular 11. I think Monak Patel is likely to come back. I don't know much information, but if he comes back, they can end on a high. But if he doesn't, that again stumbles the playing 11. If he does, they look into this 11 and see it's a set 11.
Yeah, it's a good 11 actually, but in Barbados they might look to play another spinner. So not sure if Kejige is going to come in place of Jasdeep Singh. That's a tactical call that they'll have to make. And yeah, me too. I see it's a large game. Even if Munang Patel is 80% fit, I think he's going to play.
Correct. Absolutely. And even I agree with this one. That's the reason why I have him in my side. And similarly, England, I think it's an unchanged 11. But you spoke about a little about Chris Jordan. Where do you fit him in case you have to?
Look, I think the English management actually backs Markwood, and but they at times make tactical changes, like they brought in Sam Curran. Uh,
Yeah.
so see, with the new ball, there you have Reece Topley. He's not picking your wickets, I agree, but you have Reece Topley and Chris Jordan is our new ball bowler. So I think Reece Topley has been economical, economy of 5.5 maybe in this tournament he has, and Topley should be there. Then Joffre Archer is definitely going to be there, and I think like just to give a go, maybe bring in Chris Jordan.
Okay, so Chris Jordan is his third pacer instead of Mark Wood, but we will see what the England management does. You have Karen Pollard as well in that
I
team as well.
I don't I personally don't think that will happen, but this is my personal
Yeah, absolutely. So that's your personal opinion. We're done with the predicted playing 11. It's time for the important predictions time now. USA versus England, match number 49. Do you think it's going to be a nomination from England? If yes, what's your percentage for this game, Arjita?
I feel that US will try their best to keep England down, but I think England, being England, they're gonna come out on top. And we like in the during the group stages, we did see England, a little bit subdued, by some associate nations. Scotland, they failed to get wickets in 10 overs against Scotland. Mm, Then against Australia, they were not really good enough. But I think after this setback and after managing it to come through to the Super 8 stages, I think England are going to thrash USA.
Okay, so England are going to thrash USA is saying so it's a one-sided game for Rajitda. That pretty much sums up the day tomorrow. Super Sunday, couple of big games when it comes to Super 8 and its points table. Thank you so much, Rajitda. Thank you to all the viewers for watching this video. Don't forget to subscribe to the Fifth Umpire. Press the bell icon as well. Thank you so much and bye-bye.